Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? And as I shared in the daily financial news update this morning, once I collected more data around the very good news around new home sales, I was going to do a video if I thought the information was meaningful. And it's meaningful. And I think we need to start trying to interpret the data, understand the consumer psychology that is changing. If you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you know that my daily habits are to understand and try to figure out what the consumer is doing, because they are my biggest competitor and the consumer as tenants in my properties, and the cost of capital. And what we are seeing with these very good and very surprising new home sales for April is we could see that little twist in consumer psychology that I have been talking about and pontificating and saying is probable or likely. And that is frankly that the single family home is going to be the asset of choice. It is going to be the investment of choice for the next decade. So again, it's 1 month. 1 month does not make a trend, but boy, when it surprises to this level, I think we all should pay attention. We should ask about our local markets. As you've seen in my 75-day hard challenge, step or task number 1 is learn your market. So I will be talking about national numbers here. You should be looking at your market. But first off, the expectations for April were horrible. The industry was expecting a decline of 22%. And that is a decline from March. It was a month-on-month number. Where in reality, new home sales were up nearly 1%. That's a huge swing. Not only is it growth month on month, but it far exceeds the expectation. And now we have to ask ourselves why. What is going on at the consumer level that they are out buying more homes in an economic shutdown than we expect? So a couple of things, right? When you start peeling back this data, and we all should. First and foremost, while the sales were up 1%, we have to realize that the median price is down 8.5%, right? The median price is down to $309. So what does that mean? Well, that means that the lower end of the market is healthy, right? We also see pain in the high end. Jumbo loans are hard to get. So this is all data we've been talking about for months on this channel that you can use to make better decisions in your business. Couple of facts that, again, we've talked about for a while, but are very clear in this data. We came into this health event with underbuilt or a lack of supply of new homes. We haven't built to the right level for years, if not a decade. 2, there is pent-up demand. There are lots of people who would have normally been buying in the spring selling season that took 6 weeks off. And they're like, you know what? Forget it. I'm buying now. And then lastly, and I've talked about this a lot on this channel, it is becoming very apparent that a home, a house, is an important thing to have. It's space. It is far easier to shelter in place, put your kids in the backyard, be your office, be your school, be your theater in a house than a small apartment. All of these things are important. All of these things should be impacting your investment decisions. Next, I've talked about for a long time, the affordability level in your market, right? My market is 260. If you can get a new house right around that number, awesome. But if you go 2x that to 520, not good. That market is very slow. Jumbo loans are nearly non-existent, need 780 credit scores and 20% down. So watch the mix of homes. There are some builders who are simply not going to do well because they build for the luxury market. But if you're building affordable first-time buyer homes, you are probably having a good time in this market. The other thing that's very important, new homes versus existing homes, is for the last 10 weeks or so, it has been easier, and I would argue much, much easier to show a new home. You don't have to worry about people touching your stuff. You can go through it as you need. You don't have to kind of, do all these extra cleaning things. So I think it has been remarkably easier to sell a new home, and maybe we didn't appreciate that. And then lastly, I think this is just another sign of data we have to dig for. I think we are seeing the cities move to suburbia. We are getting out of these tall towers with, 42 floors and an elevator to, you know what? I want space. I want my own space. So we are seeing people who are spending thousands of dollars living in apartments, buying homes, and frankly, saving money. Next, we are seeing a swing from Class A apartment dwellers who would want to have all the amenities to, again, I want space. And these are the folks with options, right? There are a lot of people in Class B or C that don't have that luxury. They don't have the financial means. They don't have the income or the credit to qualify. Lots of Class A apartment residents are going to be buying homes. It just makes sense, especially if they don't have to live near their office anymore and their employers are increasingly say work from home. You want to work from home in a home where you have a space for your office, a space for the kids, a space for entertainment. It's just far easier. And then finally, I think we are seeing the cusp of the millennial buyer jumping in. The millennial buyer is already and going to be the dominant force in real estate for the next several decades. This health event has pushed them to even more look at buying. And right now they are buying the first time home. It is going to be an interesting time to watch. So again, new home sales up 1% on an expectation of fall of 22% for April. Prices, median price was $309. That was a fall of 8.5%. Folks, I don't know how else to read this, but the home is in high demand. We don't have enough supply. I think the Class A apartments are in trouble. I think owning rental homes like Invitation Homes and us mom and pop landlords is the place to be. Let me know what you think. I was very, very surprised by these numbers. It's awesome. It's got to be seen as a good thing. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.